So I'm your moderator, or the moderator for this session. I have a very difficult job because we started late and we're going to have to finish on time, which means that my difficult job will be to cut the presentation shorter and to cut your questions shorter. I apologize for this. I'm really sorry, but this is the way it works. I would like to make a statement starting from a word which was pronounced in the earlier session, which I think is very important. It's the word migration. I do not believe that this conference is about migration. First of all, look at how many of you are in this room. To us, the organizers, there has never been as big a success. Now, what this means is that this issue is attracting players from every part of the ecosystem, whatever the ecosystem is understood to be. Migration is not the story. If you start from all of these players, what is happening now and what will happen in the future is that these players will converge their services with other players so that to the consumer, the solution is every day easier. Now, why does it have to be easier? Because if you start from entertainment in the home and you look at who is watching that screen, it can be a child, it could be an adult, it can be somebody living in the urban area, or somebody living in the rural area. What convergence is about is making all of the devices speak one language, making all of the software solutions speak one language, so that the consumer that is watching the entertainment can in fact access the entertainment it wishes to watch. Convergence is a little bit of a bigger issue. Convergence is between the internet. The internet, I would say, is the world. It's about sharing with the world of entertainment, which is the world about us in the home, and converging that to the world of the telecom, which is about me, now, in my pocket, all the time. So how do you converge the internet communities, the internet entertainment offer, and the fact that the consumer now or soon will be able to have this all the time at the tip of a finger? That is the revolution which we are now living. So, this being said, I would like to have our different speakers make their presentation. Try to make it more concise, please. And I'm going to call to the floor first my friend from Sony, Reno Di Francesco. I would like to apologize to you. I am not as gifted as my friend Patrice Lupovsky. I cannot speak Russian nor quote Lermontov. Sorry. So I will have to work with you through a translation. So, I think it's important to hear from Sony, because Sony has entertainment. Sony has devices. And something that we should not forget is Sony has the games experience. And the games experience is very important because it's exciting to play a game. It's fun to play a game. And I want to play that game with others. So as I want to play it with others, I have to find a solution to do it now and to do it with them. And to do it in a way which will pay its way so that the business model makes sense to every one of these layers in this convergence story. Convergence, business model, pay its way. The floor is yours, Reno.
Спасибо, Сергей. Я немного говорю по-русски.
I speak Russian a little bit. Good afternoon. I'm very glad to be here.
What we feel could be the visual entertainment and connected TV evolution plan, the emerging opportunities for the digital media world at mid and large term. So, for the short term, of course, the Russian situation is very important to the heart of Sony. Sony speaks Russian. Sony говорит по-русски. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Svetlana Bulavskaya, please. So, Svetlana is managing TV for Sony in Russia. And in the Sony galaxy, Russia is a growth market which matters very much to us. In the days where Western Europe does not deliver the same promises as before, where countries like Russia are really promising in terms of growth, in terms of consumer insatiable interest for new technology, for new services, for new content. So to us, it's of paramount importance to be present in Russia and to understand and follow the trends of the Russian market. Without further ado, I will enter my presentation. So I'd like to recall you that Sony shouldn't be boring. I'm sorry if it is. Sony is meant to be fun. If I had to summarize this in one page, Sony is fun. We have Sony pictures, movies like Spider-Man made by Sony, James Bond made by Sony. In terms of music, everyone remembers Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a huge star. He worked for Sony. Glenn Gould, a wonderful artist in the piano, we own the rights for Glenn Gould recordings. More recently, a UK star, singer Adele, is also in contract with Sony. In the gaming domain, just recall one game which is managed by Sony, Gran Turismo. The philosophy of Sony in games is very interesting. It is probably matching perfectly what Serge Ferret has tried to explain with convergence. We manage a few games which we think are flag bearers, so they bear the flag of Sony. However, the market is so much bigger, the needs of consumers are so much bigger than what Sony would be able to offer on its own. Therefore, we cooperate with many game designers, game brands, game publishers, for them to be supported on our PlayStation platforms. So our philosophy, we do vertically some games, but most games are not done by Sony. They are supported by Sony platform so that customers of Sony for games can enjoy a maximum number of titles. More recently, I'd like to mention the digital reading division. You know about e-books. Sony has an e-reader with e-ink technology, which is matching the visual qualities of a book. And I know in this country, people read a lot. I've seen bookstores everywhere. So people have different tastes, but they read a lot. So it's very important also to mention this technology, digital reading and book publishing, which is now very vibrant in the digital age. Sony is also active somewhere else in the value chain. We are supporting the broadcasters when they create new television studios, when they want to develop into cinema, theaters. theatrical experience is very important for the consumers everywhere in the world, and I know it is also very true in Russia. You have very good movies from Russia, which exports. You have also the Hollywood movies. You have a mix of choice. In this case, Sony is supplying very high definition projectors, and we are very proud of our 4K technology. More lines than most of our competitors and more quality in the picture on the very big screen. TV is also a very important market, and we have seen internet TVs, internet-able TVs, as it was explained by one of the speakers. The consumers buy internet TV even if they don't have today the broadband they would like to have. But they are prepared to endorse the broadband and use their internet TV fully. We have solutions for the stadiums. We have solutions for the point of sales where, for instance, we bring together different displays and different internet boxes where the merchant or the gallery, the merchant, the shopping mall can display advertisement. So maybe at one time of the day, you know that the kids, the children, will go with their parents, so maybe you advertise for children's shoes. At other times, you know that there are no children around, you don't advertise for children's shoes. And our customers, in that case, they are companies, the merchants, the points of sales. They love it because the purchasing act is linked to advertisement. So I'd like to highlight this because many people before spoke about advertisement as a way of financing TV. It's an open loop system for today. You advertise on a publicly watched channel, everyone gets the advertisement. There is no personalization. Sometimes it's very useful to know who is watching, and in shopping centers, with our solutions, we know more or less who is watching, therefore the advertisement is targeted. So Sony is also active in this. Video surveillance, we ship cameras to supervise what is going on in public spaces, and we have made that IP, Internet Protocol compatible. We have developed a standard for connecting all Internet Protocol compatible video surveillance cameras for any brand, and therefore we are in a culture of compatibility, interoperability. So you know us in consumer electronics, you know us in mobile communications devices with Sony Ericsson, which was the previous brand of Sony in that domain, was a 50-50 venture with Ericsson, and today we have bought the remainder of the shares held by Ericsson, so Sony Ericsson is now fully Sony. So we are very proud of our Android devices, which are very useful, and we know customers appreciate them in the Russian market. So I think that a turning point is this year in terms of connected TV, and that connected TV is taking a key role in home entertainment. So in the home, the TV holds a central place. A previous speaker explained that many users in Russia love to have TV as their main information and entertainment platform. Other people like to have a PC. However, everyone is familiar with TV, and people watch TV on the average 3 hours per day. This is huge. This is a huge opportunity. We don't want to let these people down as technologies evolve. We want to give them more opportunities. So what are the opportunities and what are the challenges? In the home, we have stationary equipment, but also people sit down on their sofa and they bring with them portable equipment. Those portable equipment are typically smartphones, PC, tablets, e-readers, gaming devices, etc. Therefore, at the same time, as it was explained by a previous speaker explaining the marketing aspect to consumers, what people do in front of television, which I would not mention because maybe it's too complex to do and not appropriate for this audience, but in front of television, people chat, speak, use their computers, do gaming, etc. It means spectrum, the radio spectrum, the waves, are used at the same time for mobile devices, uplink, downlink, and for TV reception. And therefore, there is the increasing issue of coexistence. Not interoperability, but just coexist, not interfere with each other. Television reception should not be interfered by the waves coming from the telephones. And this is happening in Western Europe with the digital dividend. We have a TV band, 800 megahertz, which has been reallocated for mobile use, and in some cases, LTE, long-term evolution, high-speed mobile technology, is interfering with TV reception. Our engineers are working very actively on it because we, Sony, we want it to work for the consumer. And there shouldn't be a case where telecom operator use the waves and the TV receiver is not working anymore. This would not be acceptable. So I'm just drawing your attention to this because I know that Russia is paying a lot of attention to spectrum, that you have probably among the best radio engineers in the world, and planning or replanning frequencies should take care of this aspect to avoid experiences, the lessons learned in the West. Connected TV, to us, is a hub. So it's a shared screen, it's a focus, it's the active and open window in the world, and it's a place of collective entertainment. So the requirements for the consumer are, what are the services on this platform? It's for multiple viewers at the same time. It is not like a tablet, where only one viewer is in charge. You have a group of people. It's not easy. So now, the issue from the different manufacturers is how do we make our TV sets compatible with the services of broadcasters? And our belief as Sony is really, we believe in content. We believe in consumers and we believe in content. And therefore, the main point to us is to match the creative requirements. So people doing programs, people doing the TV channels, deciding on which show at which time, they should be in control of the services on the TV set. Otherwise, you have a balkanization of the TV set with multiple services, and people will not invest in good programming anymore, because to do good programming, you do need revenues from this programming. These revenues come from advertisement. If you start putting independent windows around the main program, which are controlled by maybe the infrastructure, broadband infrastructure provider or another player, then broadcasters become unhappy. And broadcasters decrease their quality of content, and that's not good for the public. Then the public is not interested anymore. That's why we have two fora to discuss standardization. The main one you probably have heard about, HBBTV, is working under ETSI, the European Telecom Standards Institute. And the second one is the Open IPTV Forum, OIPF. So those two are driving standardization. And there will be later today a presentation which has been prepared by Mr. Bernard Fontaine from France Televisions about what HBBTV is bringing to the market with a reference to the particular case of France, the country where he operates. So here is an illustration of the ecosystem and the steps in the service as seen by the Open IPTV Forum and the organization across the different standards organization. So you see the HBB-TV forum, the DVB forum, which defines television reception in Europe, W3C, which is for the internet, and OIPF for IPTV. So the same thing for HBB-TV. So in terms of policy aspects, manufacturers have discussions to ensure that the consumer doesn't have a problem, a blocking problem with their internet TV set when they connect to the internet. The problem was not addressed so far. It is about traffic management. So when you have traffic congestion on an on an IP network, telecom operators managing the infrastructure have normally the temptation to sort good packets and bad packets. Defining good packets and bad packets in the view of the operator is not what the consumer wants. The consumer wants to have his own packets, and they don't care about what the operator wants. There is a clash there. So therefore, the good packets is what the consumer wants, and the bad packets are those which you can delay. In the view of the operator, it's the good guy, operator, the bad guy, the OTT, and what does not bring immediate revenue is, yes. Okay, let's be shorter. BBC, that's what is operational today in the UK. That's the BBC iPlayer. My message here is today the main services are catch-up TV. So you get to view the shows which you have missed. It's a library, online library for free. For 1 week you get to see many interesting shows. And you have the same thing in Germany. Mediatek from ARD and ZDF, the main public operators. So my last slide is really the right hand. Who decides on the traffic of internet in the context of connected TV? And it is not an easy issue. And as Serge was explaining, it's an issue where we need to discuss all around the table so that all players, content providers, operators, manufacturers, and consumers have a win-win-win solution. That's all.
Thank you. Spasiba большое, dear Reno. Cooperation, interoperability, matching solutions are the key words. Thank you very much. You've noticed that Reno is a very qualified engineer. So if you have engineering questions, we're not going to ask them now. It's not possible because engineers asked very complicated questions, and they always come up with very complicated answers, and we are running out of time. So Reno is here. He will be here for the coffee break. He will be here for lunch. So please jump on Reno, so to speak, and jump on his beautiful colleague who manages this business, TV business in